been some Gnostic community nearby, and there is one reference in the life of Pachomius to debating with philosophers. One suspects those philosophers were more Gnostic than Aristotelian. But we really don't know anything about that part of Egypt at that time, except for the Pachomian order.
Is always bound to make attempts to interpret his own being, his own existence, his situation, and his relation to the universe of things, how he stands in the totality of things, and thus question about first and last things, the beginning and the end, and the nature of the soul, and about good and evil. All this is something which exercises the thoughts of man. And here was a case where people went about it in a grand way. They were the first, perhaps, who tried to give one universal answer to all this together and bind it together into one grand vision.
The Valentinians, so far as we know from what from what's left, regarded faith as the essential first step in Christian life. The first thing a person does to become a Christian is to discover the faith in Jesus Christ, be baptized, have one's sins forgiven, join the Christian church. It's only after that that they would begin, rather like some kind of secret theological circle would say, what do you really think it means that, say, Jesus died on the cross? Or what do you really think it means that that God created the world? They thought faith is the first step. Gnosis is the logical advancement of that. He says, I know they say the same things we do, and they come to the creed, and they come to the services, and they say the same creed, and they look just like everybody else. But in fact, they're not. Part of their seduction techniques is to use feminine imagery for God. Another form that their seduction took was inviting women members of the Gnostics to participate in, for example, reading the scriptures, in prophecy, in speaking within the group in the way that men did as well.
You see a struggle between the Gnostics and the Catholics for the place of womanhood in the church. In the primitive church, women could be prophetesses. In office, that was an office of the church. And then the Gnostics accepted that. A woman could be a bishop, or a woman could be a priest. She could celebrate the Eucharist.
My work is searching, my work is questioning, and I think that's the basis of Gnosis, is to question. A lot of the religions, I think, tend to say, sleep, sleep, it's all right, it's going to be all right. Whereas Gnosis says, awaken, look, question, where are you, who are you, and why? And that is Gnosis means knowledge, means search to me. It doesn't mean the end point, it means an ongoing process, it means change, it means growth.
I think Christ was a Gnostic, not in the sense that he belonged to a particular kind of Gnostic school or anything like that, but there was this dimension in his words which has the capacity to awake people to something much deeper in themselves.
The word gnosis to me means a light that lights up in myself in those quietest of moments and binds me and frees me with humankind. And it's something that happens on your own and yet links you with so many others. That's, I think, what gnosis means to me.
The Rosicrucian mythology is important to us today because the needs of the age are the same as they were then. There is the same need for a holistic vision, bringing together science, religion, art, and philosophy. There is the same need to heal religious divisions. There is the same need to read the book of nature, as the Rosicrucians put it, if we are to save the environment. And there is the same feeling that an age is ending and hopefully a new age is beginning. We are still very much in need of a transformative vision, and the Rosicrucian vision still has the capacity.
We only started our search. Where are the Gnostics? And if you want to ask me, who is and today Gnostic, I can say this to you. He can be born every moment. He's there. He will be there, and he was always there. You always will recognize him, that he's standing in the tradition of Hermes Trismegistus, that he's standing in the inner tradition of Jesus the Christ, and that he's standing in the inner spiritual tradition of Christian Roscicrucians. They have to prove themselves that they work with that inner reality, that there is life beyond time and space, that there is a process of inner alchemy within the human existence. The value of groups, and the Gnostic groups of today, they are not building their kingdom on earth. They are not building a power as the church did, very successful for 1,000 years. But I think it's always that inner spark of light. So if you look to these groups, to these organizations, they are the earthly vessels that can contain the truth. So if you look to these groups, look how that energy, that blood of the Christ, or that inner reality that you find in the codices of Nag Hammadi, is treated as the first important question for the group. To turn away from life, to go to an inner center, to an inner reality in life. And then you will find, like the butterfly at a certain moment, you leave the organization, you leave the form, and you fly to the sun, who is the visible God. The next century will prove that the visible reality of sun, the visible reality of light, in a way, hides that invisible center where all the visible light originates. So at the moment that you come through that mirror of the visible sun, if you know the significance of that light, if you feel it, if it streams through you, you meet the invisible God. And that is the future of humanity.
It was a dream. It was a dream they had. A community of knowledge, above time, across space. A dream. A scientific community of human interest, beyond the state, beyond the worldly church. A dream of the free, waiting for a better time, a better place, an eternal body, never existed, ever existing. Dream your way to membership, an imaginary world, from the past to the future.